Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Keeneland Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 12th of April, 2024. Gonna look at the stakes action here on this Friday program from Keeneland, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Join me tomorrow for my Grand National preview from Aintree, also at Keeneland with the Lexington and the Jenny Wiley, a great card there, so I hope you join me for that. But let's get to the stakes action from Keeneland, races 7 and 9. Seventh race from Keeneland, it is the Limestone Stakes. It's going for a purse $250,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 14 horses entered. 13 and 14 are both AEs, so 12 will go. 1,100 meters or 5 1/2 furlongs on the Keeneland turf course. A lot of rain in Keeneland this weekend, so these turf courses are going to be very saturated, so just keep that in mind. My top selection here, I'm going to go with 3-horse Pipsy. I'm going to go 3-8-5-6 in the superfecta. 3-8-5-6 super. Top selection of the 3-horse Pipsy. The trio filly by Kodiak here. William Walden trains. Flavien Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent ad came 6th of October at Dundalk in Ireland. 5 furlongs on the poly track in the Legacy Stakes, a listed race there. And he won by 1/4 lengths that day. And he was quarter horse out of the gate to get good position, and he got just that. He was dueling on the front end, and he had a lot left in the tank to quicken up, and he did that. An all-around good race. Refreshing here to very heavy ground, will be forwardly paced where, on heavy ground, when you're running here stateside on very wet ground, you really need to be forwardly paced, and this horse has it. He has a good post draw. I think he can, get the trip to win, but he's going to have to break. No problems with him breaking, but you never know with these European horses sometimes. 2 back at the Cur on the 23rd of September, 6 furlongs in a main race. He won by 3.5 lengths that day, and again, a lot of speed, got to the front end, he quickened up nicely off the front end, and he went away with it. A very good race there. And then on debut at Cork, 6 furlongs on good ground in a novice race. Finished second by 2 1/4 lengths that day. He was with him early on. He just never quickened up, but he got down the race course well. I think coming back here at 5.5, getting Flavien up, should be forwardly paced. He could win. I think the 8-horse Big Trouble from Ryan Hernandez and Gregory Foley is an upsetter here. His race at the Fairgrounds in Maine Special Weight in February, going 5.5, wasn't bad at all, where he won by 4.5 lengths from a good tracking trip. On debut, going 5.5 in January, he just kind of missed late. He got caught the wire, but he ran his heart out, closing up from nowhere. He gets a decent bow straw. He's training well. Training well. At 20-1, I'll give him a shot here as an upsetter. And even the 5-horse Kodiak Winter Green for Luis Saez, cutting back in trip. His 2 races here in New York last summer weren't bad at all. Hasn't been seen since Kentucky Downs, but has a good pedigree. I think this horse could get this trip here. But to recount my selection for the 7 from Keeneland, now it is the Limestone. Going to take 3-horse Pipsy. We'll give kudos to the 8-horse Big Trouble and the 5-horse Kodiak Winter Green. 3-8-5-6 super, 3-8-5 in the multi-race. Let's get to the featured 9th race now from Keeneland, which is the Maker's Mark Mile. It's a grade 1 event going for a $600,000 purse. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses, but it's a good group of 8 horses. Going 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course here in the Maker's Mark. Probably my favorite race in the spring meeting from Lexington, because it's always a good springboard of the future races going on as the season goes on, because a lot of these horses just will be running in some good grade 1s as the summer picks up. But with that being said, I love the 2-horse Emmanuel in the spot. I'm gonna go 2-8-4-3 in the superfecta, 2-8-4-3 super. Top selection 2-horse Emmanuel, 5-year-old horse by More Than Ready here. Tom Pletcher trains. Ira Artis Jr. gets the mount. Horse's most recent out came 2nd of March at Gulfstream, a mile 16th in the grade 3 Canadian turf, and he won by 1.5 lengths that day. He was a little bit wide and drifting that day. It was his first start in a little bit of time, but he got to the front and he quickened up, and he got the job. A very good return to the races. He's stepping on turf course that's probably softer than he's ever faced before, but I think he has that determination and that stamina to get around the course well. But you never know when they step on this turf course. Like I said, they've had a lot of water at Keeneland this week. 2 back in the 4-star Dave at Saratoga, a mile 12th of August. He finished 5th by 6 lengths. In a few years' time, that 4-star Dave's going to be renamed the Consecrate, because it seems like he's winning it every summer for like the last 4 or 5 years. But this horse just kind of stalked him that day and just really couldn't get there. It wasn't his day to win. And then the poker at Belmont, 1 mile on the 10th of June on Belmont Day. He won by a neck at an upsetter at 6.5-1. He sat back early. Irad rode the race terrifically, circled the field late, and he got the job done. Even his dinner party race last year, he finished 3rd by half a length. He just needs something more, but he got around the race course well. His only subpar race came in this one last year, where he had a very horrible beginning. He was very wide, and Ches Pierre really stole it on the front end. Modern Games finished second, was the next start winner, I believe, in the UK in the Lockage. Up to the Mark was the next start winner also, I believe, in the if I'm not mistaken, in the Woodford Reserve, or whatever they call that race now, the Turf Classic on Derby Day. But this horse, I think, since coming to the turf in his real campaign, he's really become a lot better horse. Refreshing here at 8-1, he can win. I think the 8 horse here, Interrogation, for getting Frankie Dettori up this time for Sugar McGahee, I think he should get a better trip. I thought last time out on the rail, he just was never comfortable in the Pegasus World Cup. He rode terrifically in the Hill Prince, Kendrick, in the at Aqueduct. Nearly broke the track record, running by a half a dozen. Was drifting late, but that's because he was out by a bunch. That was a very good race, and his Virginia Derby race wasn't bad at all. I would have wished Kendrick Carmouche would have been up on him again, but he gets Frankie up. He's gonna have to overcome wide poster, but he can win. And the 4 horse Master of the Seas, he might need the race off the bench, but he's proven he can run a heavy ground. He won the Summer Mile at Ascot quite nicely on very demanding ground. Came back to run here stateside in the Woodbine Mile, where he won by open lengths, and came back to run here in the Keeneland Turf Mile in the fall, or the Coolmore Turf Mile, what do they call that race now, where he nearly won. He finished second by a nose behind Up to the Mark, who outgamed this horse late, but he ran his heart out, and then came back to win from the parking line in the Brews Cup Mile at Church at Santa Anita last year, where William Buick rode a terrific race. Should handle the soft going, 4-5. I know it's a short price. I'll give him a shot here. But remember this race last year. Modern Games was a very heavy favorite and finished second. So you might want to find a price in this one. But to recap my selection for the 9th from Keeneland now, it's the grade 1, 600,000 Maker's Mark Mile. Going to take the 2 horse Emmanuel. Give kudos to the 8 horse Interrogation and the 4 horse Master of the Seas. 2843 Super, 284 in the multi race. So good luck to all. And please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everyone.